decades, Filipino World War II veterans fought for equal recognition and benefits. And last year, a breakthrough. The U.S. government passed a bill that granted Filipino World War II veterans payments. But today, disappointment. Rodney Aleco tells us why Manons may end up suing the U.S. government.
A year after the Veterans Lump Sum Bill was approved, a Virginia-based lawyer and a veterans' rights group in California threatened to sue the Veterans Administration to force it to reconsider lump sum applications from nearly 9,000 Filipino veterans. They were rejected because their names are not in the National Personnel Records, the so-called Missouri list.
May papeles sila sa Pilipinas kasi kinikilala sila ng gobyerno bilang veterano. Yun lang ay malaking patunay na.
The VA stopped accepting applications for the lump sum Tuesday, February 16. Of the more than 21,000 applications processed, over 6,000 were approved for veterans in the Philippines, and another 6,000 for those in the U.S. The VA has paid out $149 million of the $198 million lump sum budget. Veterans Affairs Secretary Eric Shinseki will soon report to Congress about the lump sum payments. Veterans activists are hoping he will tell lawmakers the money is not enough.
It is our lesson in the United States that if you will not ask for it, you will not get it.
Lawyer Arturo Valera says they intend to seek relief, a writ for mandamus, and temporary injunction in federal court against the VA.
Kung ang basis ng denial of that particular claim is yung iwas, yung tinatawag nating wala sa listahan. So, iko-compare mo sila na i-accept ang secondary evidence.
He cites the case of Angelesio Tugado, who sued and won American citizenship as a World War II veteran even if he wasn't in the Missouri list. Valera warns the VA's insistence on using the Missouri list could lead to a new injustice on Filipino veterans from a law that was intended to erase an older one. Rodney Aleco, ABS-CBN News, Washington, D.C.
And joining us in the studio today to update us on the World War II veterans, we have veterans advocate Uli Asuncion and Allison McClure, the spokesperson for California Congresswoman Jackie Spear, and welcome to Balita America. Okay, I'd like to start with you, Uli, and you just saw in our report that indeed this Justice for Filipino Veterans may sue the veterans for the 15,000 claims that have been denied. What do you say about this?
I think they should. However, the length of time that the court process goes through the appellate justice system, this is all academic. My sense is that it's better if we can have somebody, a legislator, to champion this and have this thing resolved legislatively, so it won't take that much time.
But we also, Kapamilya, that tomorrow is the deadline for filing applications for lump sum payments. So, Allison, is there a possibility that this deadline be extended for those who have not filed yet?
Well, unfortunately, the short answer is no. The Department of Veterans Affairs doesn't actually have the authority to do that because when the bill was passed that allowed for the compensation fund, there was a deadline. It was written in, and unfortunately, nobody can do that unless it's an act of Congress.
You know, what is really very sad about this, Allison, alam po natin that some of the veterans who filed lump sum claims died while they were waiting for their benefits to come. And some of them, wala pong widows, wala pong mga anak. And the law is very, very clear that the children and any other surviving family member cannot actually inherit these benefits. Will that and should that be changed? And the good Congresswoman, can she sponsor that bill?
Well, I mean, I don't know if you know this, but the Congresswoman was a widow early in her life, and so she's certainly sensitive to the needs of widows and their families. So she does believe that any legislation, any promise made to a member of the military should be honored, and their families should receive benefits as well. She's always championed that since her first day in office.
Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think somebody needs to spearhead the movement to go ahead and resolve this issue before all the veterans are dead. Our biggest problem is that, like you said, if a veteran filed their claim 8 months ago and they haven't gotten their paycheck yet or their benefit yet, if they died and there's no widow, the family cannot avail themselves of that equity.
Now, we all know that aside from this lump sum, the Filipino veterans have been waiting for their monthly pension, and that's what they've been fighting for a long, long time. Do you think that there's still possibility for equity bills to pass so they can still continue receiving their monthly pension?
I doubt it very much, because there's a quit claim clause that went with this bill that President Obama signed. So, for all practical purposes and reasoning, there are no other benefits that would be available to the veterans.
But Allison, can the office of Congresswoman Spear do something about that?
Well, I can certainly talk to our legislative team. I can't speak to the quit claim bill because there are certain legalities. But I think a couple things are important to remember. What would be a shame after all this time? The Congresswoman's been championing for these veterans, and what would be a shame is that however small this victory is for the veterans, it's still a victory, and this is still money that these veterans can claim. So that's why I'm here, is because we really need to make sure that everyone goes to the regional offices, the VA offices, and files their claims tomorrow, because that's what the deadline that we need to focus on for right now.
And for the VA to please speed up the processing, because time is of the essence.
Okay, maraming salamat. Thank you very much for that very important reminder.
So inspired.